Hello, we are back on PureFM. This is Current Affairs and Overshares with Billy Thomas and
Chloe Brewster.
We're back. It's another week. You can sadly, again, you're going to have to take a break from us after this week, and not just for 1 week. You've got 3 weeks away from Current Affairs and Overshares. I don't know how you're going to get your current affairs.
How are you going to cope?
How are you going to get your overshares? I mean, I don't know how we're going to cope, let alone you. But it's good to be back. We've got to make the most of our final show before Easter. I hope everyone has a good Easter. Chloe, how's your week been?
My week's been good. I've had a very chill week, actually, because obviously I had all those assignments due at the end of last week. So now I've just sort of been chilling. I've been watching everyone else stress. I know I've got a lot of friends who have got their dissertation due this week. So it's been a stressful week for quite a lot of people at university, but not me. I've been chilling.
Are people handing in their dissertations around now then?
Yeah, I know a few different subjects. I know marine biology are this week. I think geography are this week. I'm not sure. But it's like, I think it's sort of over this week and then sort of the start of, or end of April. I think that's when a lot of them are due, which is scary.
Yeah, I mean, last week we had our PR assignment to do, as I'm sure we mentioned on the show, but we did get it in time. We all got it submitted and completed. This week I've got sports journalism due in. That's due in tomorrow at 1 p.m. So less than 24 hours to go. So I should probably do it after this show. But this week we don't even have any. You don't even have any fun Purple Wednesday stories to tell us.
I went out last night. Oh, I went to the Prees last night. Last night with my swim society, the theme was iconic duos and trios, and I went as the Spice Girls. But unfortunately, 2 of the Spice Girls didn't turn up because they're placement girlies, so they just get tired and they don't come out. The other 2 Spice Girls died halfway through the night and they felt really ill, so they went home. So I was just sad, lone, posh Spice. So I think I had an early one last night.
Oh,
the Spice Girl wasn't quite spicing last night.
On the plus side, on the plus side, you're alive and awake today for this radio show.
I'm in I'm putting my best foot forward today.
You've dressed for the occasion. We're no longer in the egg outfit.
Oh no, that's a whole nother thing. Basically, the other week I wore the most ugly yellow top ever, and Billy dubbed it the yolk top, like the egg yolk top, because it was so ugly. Yeah, she did. It was
mildly,
a proper morning
scrambled.
After getting on whatever was in my cupboard sort of outfit. Yeah.
No, she did look mildly scrambled. But today I promise she looks fine. I think I'm looking forward to Easter, but it feels like I've only just come back here and I'm already on the next train back to Eastbourne for 3 weeks, which I have no issue with. Time to relax. And hopefully get some work done, because I don't think all of my mates are back from uni yet, so there might be a few days where I can just play some darts and get some work done, but we'll highly doubt that. I'll probably end up just scrolling on Twitter for hours looking at more Kate Middleton related stuff, of which there's been more and more this week. We might have got a bit out of hand last week. We did sort of dedicate.
We did go on for a while.
We might have dedicated 20 minutes of the show to Kate Middleton.
The way the conversation didn't even stop after that, it continued for days.
I mean, for anyone that was watching late, you'll be glad to hear that bit the laptop stopped recording, so you didn't have to hear us talk about Kate Middleton for 20 minutes. But we were invested, and since then, she has been sighted, Chloe.
She's been sighted.
She's been seen. She was seen.
Like a rare animal.
I know. I felt it's like a privilege to see it. A video was released to TMZ of her and old Willie Wilster coming out of Windsor Farm Shop after they'd done some shopping. And they looked happy and they looked chatty.
Wonder what they got.
Who knows what they got? But basically, instantly people thought it wasn't her. People were in the comments going, "That's not Kate.
That is a body double.
Someone's using the body double."
Someone's made a good few quid off that if it is a body double. Do you know what I mean?
I think this is where I'm going to have to withdraw my support for this conspiracy theory.
Really?
I struggle to believe that that's not her. I'm more inclined to believe that I feel like if they wanted to hide her, there's better ways to do it than getting Will to go shopping with a body double. And just hoping that nobody notices, unless it's an extremely good body double, because the person that filmed the video and other people that were there said it was Kate. So maybe it was Kate, but the mystery is still there as to why she's been so secretive over it. Why is she so bad at Photoshop? Why was
she on Photoshop?
Why was she on Photoshop? I'll tell you what I saw, actually. A point I saw on Twitter was that her degree that she got from university is in like design and stuff. Like,
oh, okay.
And like photography. So she clearly, and that flips the switch. She should be excellent at Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like she should be able to if she's done photography.
That does make sense why she'd be then like taking charge of her social media. Oh, it's all coming together. The conspiracy theories are ending.
It's sort of falling apart.
Oh.
It was all going. There were the fun times when we thought she was in an induced coma.
Fun times.
Well, not for her.
Not as
ideally.
fun as the BBL rumours.
The BBL rumours were incredible. The Willy Wonka experience rumours were so good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was.
Could you see Bansky?
Banksy!
Banksy came back. I think it was at the start of this week. So everyone, you can't say that's Kate Middleton anymore.
I mean, it could have been her as
I mean,
well. It's good.
Is that
Banksy,
a coincidence actually? If she was seen out of this farm shop and then Banksy comes back.
As soon as Kate Middleton comes back, Banksy returns. Coincidence? I think not. The people scrutinise it to a different level, though. It's crazy because
I'm still kind of like. I'm still suspect, If you zoom in on the picture, it looks a bit dodgy. But then at the same time, I do think that people there would have said if it clearly wasn't Kate Middleton.
Yeah, well, clearly people were interested to an insane degree because the hospital in which Kate Middleton had her abdominal non-cancerous surgery, as it must be called, because that's all we know, was that one of the staff members tried to access her medical records, and the London clinic, which is where it is, has had to release a statement saying, we take all of this very seriously and we don't we'll investigate it. But one of the hospital staff is clearly an avid Twitter user and just took it upon herself or themselves to go, you know what, I'm finding this out for myself, and started rummaging. That takes some big cojones to snoop on the hospital records of a princess.
I think multiple staff did it as well. Like,
Oh,
from what I
you gotta
saw,
respect that.
multiple people tried. But I reckon either they're just really curious, like you say, or they're getting paid off by someone. And you can imagine the amount of money.
You're becoming a proper conspiracy theorist.
I am. Maybe I should be taken off air. No, but I mean, that isn't that like surprising. You'd think like the British tabloids would love to hear the medical scoop of Kate Middleton.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's unconfirmed. I'd be surprised if it was just someone doing it because they heard about all the Twitter storm and were like, yeah, I want to get involved in the Twitter storm, because who wants to do that? Realistically.
Can you imagine though if they had access to her documents and like there had been some crazy stuff in there, and like it came out and it was like she actually was just mudded, like that would have gone inside. I don't condone checking a princess's medical history, but it would have been great information. But
wouldn't have been great information. It would have been sad information, but shocking.
In theory, it could have been. We still, we're committed to this story. So any updates
Don't worry, we'll
be on the case. Even when the update is like she's just been seen again for the 100th time, she's fine. We'll still be just in case.
Kate Middleton is still fine.
Yeah, each week we'll give is Kate Middleton alive update. This week's update is yes, we think she might be. Tune in after Easter to find out if that status has changed. I thought should we put on a song and then get into the current affairs?
Get ready for the news.
Get ready for the news, because has it been a busy week in the news this week? It's not been.
I didn't think it was, but all like sort of the very meaty stories have come back up again. Lots of war, unfortunately.
Well, thankfully, Lee Anderson is out of the news this week, and in celebration,
he's gone quiet.
We'll play you Stormzy and Ray, The Weekend.
That's what Lee Anderson would have wanted.
Indeed.
Met a man when I was out, and his eyes are such a different shade of brown. I liked his vibes, I took his number before I left. All night long he was on my mind, so I sent him a text that said, call me. I was thinking we should spend some time, babe. Don't play no game with me, honey. 'Cause I'm working all week, Monday to Friday. Let's take it the weekend.
Can't buy you bags, girl, you are the bag. They should hang you up, you're an artifact. You're my sweeter love, that's a heart attack. You gon' make me turn that thing into a water tap. Drip, drip. London boy, I'm on my slip brick. I like my chick tick, daddy wonder if I got her. Baby, save it for the group chat. Still take the roof back. Broke, girl, you just rebuke that. Amen. Girl, I'm hoping we can stay friends. Tryna see a bigger picture through the same lens. What you know, Ray, yeah, man, we're from the same ends. Pretty woman getting money, yeah, makes sense. I ain't always there, but I'm always on time. This little Latin man, girl, you gotta shine. I ain't tryna queue, there's a really long line. Let me fast track through to your man. Check it out. Cause you are the post some fire picture and us in this. Try a thing but they don't know the half of it. These clowns make you laugh a bit. The way I beat up, it's like you started it. You got that cloud nine, it's like I charted it. You're mashing up my heart a bit, girl, I don't want no part of it. You should sell a bad, start a kick. You can teach these a thing or two. You gon' make a real, put a ring on you. Girl, I throw it down when I put that thing on you. Maybe on the weekend I bring some dinner through. Monday to Friday, I know it gets peak. True, say I do run the city like Sadiq. I'ma come true at the end of the week. Turn a real good girl to a freak, big man. Yo, it's Monday, alright?
No, Monday I can't.
Tuesday I slide.
No, Tuesday is hard for
Or is Wednesday cool?
Wednesday I work late. How about a Thursday?
Thursday's time.
Just Friday a vibe.
Friday we're live.
All the weekend could be just fine. When I ain't thinking about the time, you could be all me. I was thinking we should spend some time, babe. Don't play no game with me, honey. Cause I'm working all week, Monday to Friday.
Friday we're live.
Let's think of the week.
And you are back on PureFM with Current Affairs and Overshares. And it's time to move on to the news. It's time to make some proper stories to tell to you. It's been a busy week in politics, and there's only one place ever to start when we talk about politics, and that is PMQs. Chloe,
Yes.
what you got for us?
So the PMQs this week was a bit dramatic. It was summed up quite well by The Guardian, which said that Rishi sort of holds on tight to his two bits of good news in the PMQs this week. His version of good news, I guess. So inflation has fallen. He says that's because of the economic plan that his government have put in place. It's fallen to the lowest level in nearly 2.5 years. But well, it could also be argued that his government was in power for the last 2.5 years as well. So
Yeah. Well, not only is his party's been in power for 14 years now.
yeah,
So you know.
yeah. I mean, but at least it's gone down. So there we go.
Hey.
And then he also said that there is hope on the horizon for his Rwanda plan to go ahead, which
There isn't. Essentially.
which Starmer said about the plan. He called it a gimmick, saying that Rishi doesn't even believe in the plan himself. But Rishi sort of hit back at him, saying that Starmer doesn't care to fix immigration. That's a quote, fix immigration. Yes, that's sort of like the hot topic on everyone's tongues at the PMQs on Wednesday. Yeah, it was. That's all I've got for you, really. It's basically because the Tories are still adamant that this Rwanda plan will be going ahead, and no one else believes in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the vibe.
It takes some audacity to stay so committed to a plan that has had so many failings over the past few months, because we've been hearing about this Rwanda plan for months and months and months, and it's only getting pushed further and further back. I mean, last night the amendments to it were rejected by the House of Lords, which basically means has to go back to the House of Commons
Round
now,
in circles.
and then the House of Commons will send it back to the House of Lords, and then no doubt the House of Lords will say that it's wrong again and send it back and forth in a term which is technically and politically known as ping pong. Because it's just going to go back and forth unlimited. And now that that's happened, even if everything goes smoothly from here for the government, for this plan, there will be no flights to Rwanda until at least, I think it's June or July, the end of June or July. And, you have to think, could all of the money that's been put into this plan and everything to do with it and all the time not have been put to some other good use, even if you are, whether you're anti-immigration, pro-immigration?
No, because that doesn't attract the gammons, Billy. At the end of the day, like, this Rwanda plan is to sort of...
It's gammon fodder.
That's one way of putting it. It's... A lot of it, I think, is to attract sort of the voters that would be more interested in sort of curbing immigration in their view. And since Sunak took office, he was arguing in the Commons on Wednesday that channel crossings have decreased around 36%. They've decreased by around 36% since he took office. However, so far in 2024, the number of people crossing the channel is actually up 9% compared to the same time last year. So it has gone down, but then it is rising up again in 2024. Yeah,
we recently had the most populous day of the year for people arriving on small boats the other day. 430, I believe, people arrived on small boats in one day in the UK. But essentially, whether you're pro-immigration or anti-immigration, I think you can universally agree that something better could have been done in the time that it's taken to get to this point with Rwanda and the money. You know what I mean? Other measures could have been put in place. Basically think of an idea that that someone that is legal, because all it has to be is legal for it to get through because it has been found to be, this isn't speculation, it's found to be illegal in previous iterations of the plan. And you think maybe if they just stuck to the rules, maybe something else could have been done to either fix, in their own words, immigration, or to improve something else in the country. And we'll see how it progresses. But if I were a betting man, I would bet that there ain't no flights going to leave for Rwanda. And I don't think there ever will, because they've been saying it for months. And I just can't see it happening at this point. Or if they do, it's going to be a very different plan to the one that they initially set out.
I think what was the major issue, I think, for the last few months have been with the Rwanda plan is that it is not granted. It's argued that it goes against human rights to people who are being sent there, as Rwanda can be argued to not have a good human rights record, and therefore sending people to Rwanda is against their human rights. Which the fact that they've started this plan, the plan send them to a country that doesn't have a good human rights record was never going to be a good start, was it? I don't know how they thought that was going to go smoothly.
It's just it's the arrogant perseverance of it that confuses me. Well, it doesn't confuse me, but I think will annoy a lot of voters, is their insistence, despite at every turn and every hurdle where this plan has been shot down with either people saying it's not legal or it won't work or we can't afford it, we can't do this. At no point have they decided it's time to cut our losses, bite the bullet and say maybe this wasn't our best idea. It's their
HS2.
Yeah, it's their narcissistic arrogance that they will have to do it because they can't bring themselves to admit that maybe they made a mistake, that I think has riled a lot of people up, and that's why it was the case in PMQs. I'm sure Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak were going back and forth as they always do, with the SNP fella piping up every now and then as well, like he loves to do. But there has also been a lot of, unless you've got something else to add for PMQs this week.
The only thing to add was the sort of the Prime Minister's line on the Israel and Gaza war, as we all sort of have heard about. He said that there needs to be urgent action in the war to avoid a famine, which is sort of the line that lots of countries are taking at the moment, saying that more needs to be done to get aid into Gaza, which is obviously needed. He also added that there has been too many civilian casualties, saying that the PM himself has made these points to the Israel PM, Benjamin Netanyahu. And he says that this point's been made repeatedly, but doesn't say what's come of that. I presume not much, as the war is continuing and people are still starving. So
yeah, it's another one of those. What are the British government going to do to actively help the situation? And something I found interesting, regardless, is that the new MP for Rochdale, George Galloway, who was elected as the Workers' Party MP on the basis that he would give voice to his constituents on the nature of Gaza, when they had their massive debate in the House of Commons about what to do in Gaza this week, he didn't turn up. But so
really?
he wasn't there.
Oh my god.
So make of that what you will. Make of that, George Galloway is a man that very much divides opinion, and I think depending on what clips of him you see, it can really change your opinion. But we'll get a better feel for how popular he is. Now he's been elected, but we'll see truly what the constituents think at the next general election. The only question is that when will that election be? That the latest an election can be called, because obviously it's coming up to a election time, considering the last election was in 2019. The latest an election can be called, the latest date that is possible, is the 28th of January 2025. So at the latest, that is when we'll have one, but it's almost certain that an election will be called this year. It's just a matter of when. Rishi Sunak said in the start of the year, in January, he said that it would come in the second half of the year. However, there's been a lot of speculation in recent weeks that he might call one earlier. Now, he then recently ruled out a May 2nd election. There were rumours that he might have an election on the 2nd of May, which is the same date as the local council elections that will be taking place in the country. So a lot of people thought it might make sense to have it on the same day and to call this early election to try and sort of cut their losses in the polls and just call one early. However, Rishi Sunak has ruled out this election date. He said that it will not be happening on May the 2nd, to which Labour responded by making numerous social media posts calling Rishi Sunak a chicken. They posted photos of him in chicken suits, calling him a chicken, him making chicken noises, as a show that essentially saying he's too scared to call an election because he knows that there is no way he would win one if he called an election now. Now, there's a big split in the Tories at the moment over when an election should happen, and more specifically, who the leader should be for that election. Some Tory voters want an earlier election because they feel like that if the current issues continue over the summer, that the summer headlines may be filled with news stories on immigration and small boats, because in the hot summer weather, it'll be more noticeable and visible. These small boats arriving, that is some of their key issues that they try and deal with, and they feel like it will affect them even more in the polls, and by the end of the year they will be even in a worse place than they are now. So they wanted an early election, whereas some of the other Tories think that they're so bad in the polls at the moment that you might as well give it time to see if they can recover anything. Though the current election plan sort of might have been let slip by Jeremy Hunt this week, because when talking about the financial budget, he hinted that an election will come in October. Specifically, October 17th is the favourite for the date of the next election. So October 17th is the current plan. It's believed to have been leaked. However, the only way that could change is if the Conservatives try and overthrow Rishi Sunak. Now, obviously, a lot of Conservatives aren't happy with the leadership of Rishi Sunak at the moment. In fact, it's believed that over 40 letters of no confidence have already been sent in to into Parliament, and 53 are needed for a no confidence vote on the Prime Minister. So it is getting a bit close. However,
surely they can't have another Prime Minister before the election. They can't fit another one in.
You'd be surprised, but you would think so. However, Rishi Sunak's defence mechanism, essentially, as he said, is that if you try and kick me out, as soon as you try and trigger a leadership contest to take me out of power, I will simply call an election, because then you have to back me, because you have to support the leader in the run-up to an election.
Is there no chance of there being another leader then? There's no chance there'll be a different PM for the Tories?
It's unlikely, given what Rishi Sunak has suggested, is that if they try to change leader before the next election, he would simply call the election earlier so that he could remain in power. So he's basically trying to call them off, saying, you try and take me out of power, everyone's coming down with me.
Surely that's not very diplomatic.
No, not at all. But yeah, his stand is that if you try and take me down, I'm taking you all down with me, and I'm calling an election. So he hopes that sort of technique will stop them voting against him, and will take him all the way to October, where he would be able to have an election then. October 17th we'd be in Portsmouth for that, wouldn't we?
We would. What would you think? Would you be voting for back home or would you be voting for here? Because obviously students can vote either or in their uni city or their home.
It's a tough one for me because I would be I would vote in whichever place I think my vote would matter more, essentially, because I feel like in Portsmouth South, where we are now, it is an almost foregone conclusion that Portsmouth South will be Labour at the next election. I would be willing to bet £500.
I think I'm changing, like, what's it called? Like, am I changing areas next year?
No.
Oh, am I not?
I don't think so. But Portsmouth South as a constituency, I would be willing to bet £500 that it remains Labour at the next election. Whereas my home constituency of Eastbourne is currently Conservative, and although it's likely it will switch to the Liberal Democrats, it's not for certain. So I feel like I would be inclined to maybe make the trip back to Eastbourne and put my vote in the ballot in Eastbourne. I obviously wouldn't say who I'd vote for, but because it will be closer, whichever side I'd want to win, my vote, I feel, would mean more in Eastbourne than it would in Portsmouth. What about you?
Yeah, my home constituency is just massively a safe seat. He's been in that seat for the last 20 years. So I think as much as I would like to vote for an alternative, as much as I would like to vote in my home area, like you say, I think my vote would matter more in Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't even know who is the other MP for my area. I've never heard anything. I don't know who the other option would be. I don't know if there would be like multiple other options. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if there were to be a new Conservative leader before the election, if that were to end up being the case, the three sort of front runners at the moment, the odds-on favourite is Kemi Badenoch. But the two being put forward by sort of Tory rebels at the moment is either Penny Mordaunt, who I believe is MP for Portsmouth North, and Tom Tugendhat, who is another Conservative MP. So you could easily be seeing one of those as the leader, depending on how things goes, depending on whether Sunak is a man of his word or not. But I think we're just going to have to let it all unfold and see when this election comes. But it will be coming this year. And something else that will be coming is Corday, Make Up Your Mind, here on Pure FM. We'll be back after this song.
I said she loved me not, but she don't got not one clue about what she wants. I said she loved me, yeah, she love me not, but she don't got not one clue about what she wants. Yeah, okay, shorty got mad potential, I see it. Daddy full black, but her mom a Korean. She know I'm getting money from the cars that I be in. Young rich hitter, but the shoes European. Took her to the crib, let's call it sightseeing. Need one woman, but I want like 10. But back to the subject, ball and get buckets. 30K cash in the bag, gotta love it, gotta love it. I've been so tired, she keep on pressing me. Molly and ecstasy was the name. Hop in this ride, shawty here next to me, sitting and telling me what she say. Said she loved me, she loved me not, but she don't got not one clue about what she wants. I said she loved me, she loved me not, but she don't got not one clue about what she wants. Just make up your mind, figure it out. Use both hands on it. Bounce up and down, move round and round. Go and change your plans for it. So go and tell your friends about it. Use both hands on it. Bounce up and down, move round and round. Go and change your plans for it. Girl, I've been so tired, she keep on pressing me. Molly and ecstasy was the name. Hop in this ride, shawty here next to me, sitting and telling me, yeah. Said she loved me, she loved me not, but she don't got not one clue about what she wants. I said she loved me, she loved me not, but she don't got not one clue about what she wants. Just make up your mind, figure it out. Hey, figure it out. Just make up your mind,
And we are back on Pure FM with current affairs and overshares. What have you got next for me, Chloe?
So I've got an update on the legal drama between Tesco's and Lidl. So Tesco's have actually been a bit naughty basically recently they've had a legal battle, and Tesco has this week been told they have to stop using their club card logo. So if you don't know their club card logo, that's a blue rectangle with a yellow circle on it. And if you think about that compared to Lidl, like Lidl's actual logo, they look rather similar. And after an appeal in 2023, it's been ruled that Tesco's do have to change their logos. So we'll be seeing different logos on our club cards and on the merchandise in the shops, which will be interesting to see. But I think lots of people are sort of talking about how ironic it is that Lidl is giving copyright claims to other companies such as Tesco's, like, you know, with their Lurpak and their...
Was it Dampak?
Yeah, Lurpak, Dampak.
Dampak.
What's the Colin the Caterpillar one? Like...
So
there's things like that.
Just,
Yeah.
They do it for all the beers as well. They've got like...
the rip-off Strongbows.
I think I love my club card, you know. I think, tomorrow I'm literally going to make a trip to Tesco's just so I can buy more beer at club card prices before I go home, because it's too good not to.
I love Lidl. Maybe I'm backing Lidl, you can back Tesco's.
We'll represent them in court.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
But basically what Lidl argued was that Tesco's use of the yellow circle took advantage of Lidl's reputation for good value.
Okay, I can sort of see what they mean. So what they mean is that people think the colours of blue and yellow and the sort of symbol of Lidl is sort of synonymous with a bargain.
Yeah, which
so
does
when they
make
see it
sense.
in Tesco's, they think that must be a bargain because I recognise it. Okay.
And I guess Tesco as well, with plastering the yellow circle on their club cards, like in their logos, in their stores, like when they're merchandising items, like it does make sense that Lidl would cause a legal battle over that. But I do wonder how many other legal battles Lidl has personally been in on copyright, obviously against them with their products. That
They must
could be argued to rip off other products.
They must double, triple check it all legally before they do it. But sometimes you do look at it and think, how the hell have you got away with that?
I think with the Dampak issue, I think in Lidl they actually offer Lurpak and Dampak after a legal issue meant that they had to show the original product next to the Dampak so people could choose. But I'm pretty sure most people would still choose Dampak because they've gone to Lidl for a reason. They haven't gone to get Lurpak.
It's like the little corner shops that have like names similar to supermarkets. I don't know how like have you seen the one that this bloke ran in wherever it was in the Midlands, and it was called Singsbury's because his name was Sing.
Oh my god!
He had to open Singsbury's.
That's amazing.
Or so it's those sort of places, or like the 7-Eleven knockoffs where it'll be like 8-11. Like how you open 8 days a week, mate?
Have you seen all that the chicken shops rip off KFC?
What, like the RFC, AFC, every single type of fried chicken?
KFC recently, I follow like a couple of marketing managers on LinkedIn because I'm a little LinkedIn warrior, and they were like reposting something that was like a marketing campaign by KFC where they basically took pictures of all these rip-off KFCs and put them all in one image and were like, so good, we have this many imitators or something like that. And it's quite good, really. It's quite a good way of taking that.
Because you're not going to lose much service just having an RFC in a high street.
No, there's no way people. I don't think people would dump off KFC to go to LFC, RFC.
Never forget when KFC ran out of chicken and people started calling the police. What an iconic thought. That's Britain at its finest.
This weekend, I think McDonald's had a load of issues across the world. All of their like online systems went down. People were out without McDonald's for
Sainsbury's had it. Greg's had
morning. Yeah, Greg's had. Well, Greg's had it. I got a Greg's. That's the thing. I got a Greg's. I was eating a sausage roll. Like scrolling through my newsfeed, and it said that Greg's their system's gone down, and I was thinking, well, why am I holding a sausage roll then? It was a bit. I was like, how's that happened? How am I here? It's quite funny actually. I'm drinking out of a Greg's water thing as well.
I was going to say that you're so synonymous with Greg's that when I saw that notification, my first thought was, what's Chloe going to do?
How am I going to cope?
You need to get like Greg sliders and stuff like that. You know, like how they all have like their own.
Sorry, I'm
each
not going
shop
to
has
Primark.
like their own like merch. You've got it. I rep it.
Have you seen all the Primark Greg's merch, like sausage roll, pajamas and stuff?
I reckon you got a cop.
No, that's a whole nother level. I can love quietly. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you who wouldn't wear Greg's merch.
Who?
Vladimir Putin. As we move on to our next story. Well, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of him, but he doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like a sausage roll man. Actually,
No.
he kind of does. But you might not have heard it in the news this week as such, but it was the presidential elections in Russia. Chloe, can you predict who won these presidential elections in Russia?
Let me have a think. I think it might have been Putin.
You won't believe it, but Putin won the election. It's in a landslide victory as well.
Oh, really?
A landslide victory. It's crazy. He won 87% of the votes. 87% of the country voted for Putin, apparently. Unsurprisingly, it was heavily criticised by the US and other Western nations, saying that it wasn't fair and it wasn't free and it's all corrupt, essentially. To which Putin said he expected criticism of the result. And when he was questioned on whether in his next presidential term he might end up in a conflict with NATO, he ambitiously said, "I think that everything is possible in the world," which isn't really what you want to hear.
What an inspirational man!
It's not really what you want to hear because, a conflict with NATO. In his own words, as he followed it up with everyone understands though that would mean one step from full-scale Third World War. So, we've got that to look forward to in the next few years. If he fancies dabbling in a bit of NATO conflict, then essentially the Third World War will start if he does that. That isn't really an idea. If he attacks a NATO country, the Third World War has essentially started.
I can't remember which country it was, but I did read in the news a couple of days ago that one of the countries sort of in Russia's area, Eastern of the world, they basically said that the UK should start considering conscription. I know we've talked about this on our show before, but they said the UK should genuinely start considering conscription for healthy adults aged between 18 and 25. That just wipes out all my friends.
Take Chloe.
I would be used. It was only men as well. I read it and I breathed a sigh I breathed a sigh of relief, and then I was like, well, actually, I've then got no friends, no boyfriend. Everything's gone.
You got no radio show, no boyfriend.
I've got no radio. Yeah, exactly. That would just be really sad.
I'm all for gender equality.
But it would be very quiet. So.
Yeah, you get some nice peace and quiet. Sound like a 40-year-old woman. Good to get some peace and quiet round here.
I wonder if uni would continue. Imagine I get my degree and you're just fighting a war. That is so like roles reversed. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, what a first job that would be. Anyway. He was also asked, Vladimir Putin, about Alexei Navalny, who was obviously a political opposition of Vladimir Putin.
He's now taken care of by his standards.
Well, according to Putin, unfortunately, what happened. There's a Putin's quote on it. It's obviously extremely sympathetic. Apparently, turnout in the election was 74%. Wow.
It's not that high here, is it?
I would be inclined to say that they just clicked a random number generator. But he won the election by even more than last time, so he's clearly even more popular. Second place was Nikolai Kabeskonov, who is of the Communist Party. He came second. I would say a brave man for running in an election against Putin. However, each of the opposition to Putin are simply also like Putin's gremlins. They're like essentially they're on Putin's payroll. Like none of the opponents of Putin in the election criticised Putin in the run up to the election, and essentially if any of them had by some miracle had won, then they probably would have just given back the power back to Putin. Like it's quite crazy because apparently the other candidates are Kremlin puppets, according to other political correspondents. Two candidates that were trying to run that were against the war in Ukraine, they were just barred from running. They were barred from running. They just couldn't run because they. It
is brave though to keep having these political opponents.
Extremely.
I know if I wanted a political career and I lived in Russia, I don't know if I'd stay.
Oh, if I lived in Russia, all hail Putin. Do you know what I mean? That'd be my go. Navalny's wife, who's probably one of the bravest people out there, organised a protest on the day of the election, which was called Noon Against Putin, where essentially, as a form of peaceful protest, she requested that everyone who supported Navalny to all go to the polling stations at midday, so that there would be massive queues, and people would be able to see how much support he had, because it would be a sort of show of support. They can't really do anything about it because they're just going to the polls. But these huge queues at midday would sort of show how much support the man had. And there were thousands of people that turned out for these protests, having super long queues in midday. Navalny's wife might be one of the braver people that I've ever heard of. She apparently, when she went to vote in the election, because she is in Russia, when she went to vote in the election, she crossed out all the other names and wrote Navalny on her ballot paper. I don't know. That takes some balls, I must say. But especially considering that any protesters that were found there faced 5 years in prison. If she had been caught spoiling her ballot, or if anyone had been caught spoiling their ballot, she would have faced 20 years in prison.
20 years
for spoiling her ballot. But
that's insane. I swear, like, spoiling your ballot in the UK is like an accepted way to vote.
Completely normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Yep. But essentially there was lots of protests at midday during this election on how free it was, and obviously what happened to Navalny. One of Navalny's key allies spoke out in support of the protest when he came out of hospital, because he recently came out of hospital because this is a crazy coincidence, right? He was attacked with a hammer outside his house in Lithuania by an unknown assailant recently. What? How weird is that?
How has Navalny's wife got this far? Do you know what I mean?
I know. I don't know how she's cooking out, but it's just comical though, isn't it? That Navalny's ally, just who lives in Lithuania to escape it all. He's in the run up to the election. He's been attacked by an unknown man with a hammer and sent to hospital. It's just crazy. I have no clue who could have organised that attack. But yeah, no, he came out of hospital and said that the protest is good. So, another successful election in Russia, essentially.
Well, at least they've got an election. We haven't got an election yet.
Yeah, at least Putin knew when to call one.
Yeah.
Even if it's not free. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully our election is much more fair. I know I've told you before, but there was an election in Azerbaijan many years ago where the government accidentally leaked the results of it before voting had finished. Now that is what I call a fair election. Right, we're going to play you another song, and then we are going to just do a little topical talk, I would say, about Easter, and just have a final chat before we sign off for the Easter break. So this is Olivia Rodrigo and Bad Idea, Right.
Haven't heard from you in a couple of months, but I'm out right now and I'm all wrapped up. And you're calling my phone, you're all alone, and I'm sensing some undertones. I'm right here with all my friends, but you're sending me your new address. And I know we're done, I know we're through, but God, when I look at you, my brain goes, can't hear my thoughts. I cannot hear my thoughts. That's all I Seeing you tonight, it's a bad idea, right? Seeing you tonight, it's a bad idea, right? Seeing you tonight, whatever, it's fine. Yes, I know that he's my ex, but can't two people reconnect? I only see him as a friend, the biggest lie I ever said. Oh yes, I know that he's my ex, but can't two people reconnect? I only see him as a friend. His trips and fell into his bed. Now I'm getting in the car, wrecking all my plans. I know I should stop, but I can't. I told my friends it was asleep, but I never said where. In his sheets. I pull up to your place on the second floor, and you're standing smiling at the door. And I'm sure I've seen much hotter men, but I really can't remember when. My brain goes, oh, To his bed.
That was Olivia Rodrigo, Bad Idea, right, live on Pure FM. And right, as we get into the final stretches, Chloe, what have you got for me for the final segment of the show?
That's a very good question. Well, I'm going to introduce this by telling you a little news story that I read the other day as well.
Okay.
About a shop owner in Orkney. And if you haven't heard about Orkney, it's the British island. It's got a very small population. So this man, shop owner, accidentally ordered 720 chocolate eggs. And that amount of chocolate eggs is more than the population of Orkney itself. And I thought it was quite wholesome, really.
There were more eggs on that island than people at one point in time.
Yeah, and I saw a raffle. He was like doing a raffle to try and get rid of 100 of these eggs, and just in one raffle, win 100 eggs. But I think I'd actually be a bit paid off if I got 100 eggs. What am I going to do with 100 eggs?
Well, I wouldn't be angry, but I wouldn't be like.
I think I'd be a bit. No, I think I would be. I'd rather be like maybe get 3. What am I going to do with 100 eggs?
Are they full size Easter eggs?
Like they're proper, like they're like the Smarties ones. Like
Brilliant.
Big, but yeah, like they're actually huge. I think the population of it was about. I haven't written it down, but I remember it being around 500.
Yeah.
So they have got way too many Easter eggs.
No.
They could get taken over by Easter eggs.
They need to like put them around the island, and then when tourists arrive, they'll think that there's like some strange chocolate bird that's like that infests the island.
I just find it funny. The guy said it was quite embarrassing, but I just think it's funny.
I just love that the Orkneys is so far up north in Scotland that like some delivery guy had to travel to the Orkneys and he's probably like, what the hell am I? Why, who is so desperate for these 500 chocolate eggs?
I hope they were good eggs. What would be your ideal chocolate egg, like chocolate Easter egg, like if there was no rules?
No rules. I don't know. Am I allowed to put fillings in it?
This is your Easter egg.
This is my
Take
Easter
the
egg.
floor.
Okay. I used to buy the Hot Wheels ones. I used to have an Easter egg with the Hot Wheels car in it.
I didn't know they existed.
But I think nowadays I tell you what I want. I want, the little like Lindor truffles that you can get.
Oh yeah.
I want an Easter egg size one of those, please.
Oh my gosh.
Though I think I might
yeah.
throw up if I ate that whole thing. Like, because I would just take the massive Easter and just be like eating it
Imagine
for
like a
hours.
slice of that.
Oh.
That would be so good.
Oh, that'd be
That would be
that'd be.
nice.
What about you? What would you cook up?
I don't know. That is a really good shout. I would have actually a chocolate Easter egg with this, and there's no rules to this, by the way. This is I want, they're like the Tesco chocolate like microwavable melty puddings, right? I want a chocolate egg with I know it doesn't make any sense. I'd have to have it all in one, but like a chocolate egg with a centre of just like microwavable chocolate pudding, with like the melty chocolate in the middle as well.
That is bougie. That is.
That is that is
Bougie little microwavable chocolate pudding in there.
Yeah, no. But I want it the whole inside of the egg. So you have like a big, all your friends come round, chuck it in the microwave. You've got a full chocolate.
Or brownie,
so good.
brownie in the middle, surrounded by chocolate mousse in a chocolate Easter egg.
Oh, would you mix any fruit into it? Because I think like coconut or mango and a chocolate.
Are you a
egg would be
coconut
good.
girl? Do you like coconut?
I do like coconut.
I like coconut too. I'm always the one like scavenging. They're like, there's only coconut left, and I'm like, I'll scavenge the bounties.
It's not my top choice in like.
But if they're there,
yeah, if the
bounties are left, the bounties will be eaten.
Yeah.
No, I could put some strawberry in there. I like strawberry and chocolate is good.
I love like gatto, like chocolate, like dark berry, so good.
Do you
that
like?
would be my ideal egg actually. A chocolate Tesco's microwavable pudding, chocolate egg with like blackcurrant, like fruit.
At least there's a bit of health in it. One of your 5 a day in there.
Exactly. I need to get
Something
it
mixed in with the other 3,000 calories. Are you a dark chocolate? Do you like a little bit of dark chocolate sometimes, or are you?
Yeah, I don't like white chocolate.
You don't like white chocolate?
No,
I like it in small
I'm
amounts.
sorry, people who like white chocolate are children.
No, a little small bit of white chocolate's alright.
Yeah, but if people were like, oh yeah, I just love white chocolate more than every other chocolate, I think you're a wrong un. I'm sorry. That's a red flag.
What loving white chocolate?
Someone who loves white chocolate. None of my family really like white chocolate. We never really have it in the house.
No, my family don't. I think I used to like it as like a rebel. Like no one had white chocolate in the house, so I was like, get me white chocolate. I want the white chocolate. But then once I had a lot of it, I was like, no. After 3 mouthfuls, it just gets quite sickly.
Yeah, it's not nice. I like dark chocolate with like bits of like oh my gosh, like dry like freeze dried like raspberries in dark chocolate. Like that is naughty. Like that is so nice.
I really hope none of our listeners are participating in Ramadan right now, because I'm so sorry with all this food talk. But don't worry, when the sun goes down. I suppose they were doing Ramadan, they wouldn't be having Easter eggs because that's a Christian festival. So don't.
But I'm sure they're still allowed Easter eggs.
I'm sure they're allowed. I don't know. What are the rules? I'll ask my mate on that actually. But on
that topic about rules for Ramadan, I'm on like Ramadan toothbrushing TikTok, and basically they're discussing like the rules in Islam about whether they can brush their teeth during Ramadan or not. And my conclusion is, from listening to, I don't know what their actual names are, like the people who give advice in Islam for like each.
Keep talking and I'll remember it.
Yeah. What I've concluded is they're allowed to brush their imam. That's it. They're allowed to brush their teeth, but not swallow any of like the toothpaste or anything like that. Which I mean,
who does?
Yeah,
don't tell me you swallow your toothpaste.
No one does.
Okay.
But that's the whole point, basically, just to make sure you don't do that. But I'm on like all different sides. I'm quite invested actually. I'd quite like to know. Not that it affects my life in any way.
I saw a TikTok debating whether Muslims are allowed to eat pork in Fortnite. But I still don't know the answer to that. But I mean, it's the things people do, like the commitment to Ramadan is amazing. I mean, my friends in sixth form did Ramadan, obviously, because they are Muslim, while I was there. And do you know what I mean? Like to be able to have to get up before, have a massive meal at 4 a.m, and then go to college or uni or whatever and do your work without eating or even drinking water the whole way through the day until sunset is quite a commitment. And whether I think you agree with the religion or not, it's admirable their dedication to their faith. It's Easter as well. Is Lent over yet, or are people still doing Lent?
Lent ends on Easter. I think that's I'm pretty sure.
Is that when it ends?
I think it starts on Pancake Day, ends on Easter, because Pancake Day is sort of like when everyone uses the last of their like sugar and their flour in their cupboards.
Okay.
Can you tell I went to a Catholic primary school? And then Easter is when everyone sort of gorges out and celebrates. It's really quite similar to Ramadan. It's quite sweet actually, having like those.
Did you give anything up for Lent?
No, I always forget.
Well, I tried to do Ramadan for a year and I forgot, and I ate a hamburger and had a pint.
Oh,
so I sort of triple ruined it.
Yeah.
But it's.
Were your friends supportive?
They weren't. Well, I didn't. Yeah, they were a bit. I think they sort of expected, because I feel like my poor mates, they've heard from all their non-Muslim friends, like every year they'll have like friends be like, oh, I'll do it with you, and they never will, because to do something like that you need to
have to have commitment.
Yeah, exactly. So it is impossible. I don't know what I'd give up for Lent if I were to give something up. I feel like maybe protein bars. Maybe it's time for the protein bars to go for that.
Billy eats a ridiculous number of Nature Valley protein bars. He literally has he's always got 2 in his bag, and he's always he doesn't eat lunch, he just eats Nature Valley bars.
I should have stocks in that company. What would you give up for them?
Like chocolate. I think I'd give up chocolate quite easily.
Well, there's supposed to be a challenge.
Challenge?
It's not supposed to be like, oh, I could easily get rid of that. I'll just get rid of that.
But why would I do that to myself when I've got? It was like if I needed to, I'd like. It'd be difficult to give up like bread and cheese. Those are like my 2 favourites.
Bread and cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you're right. I suppose that is
like one of the main 2 constituents of my diet.
It's very true. Very true. It's a very good diet, actually. I would just have no issues with that.
You'd have to give up beans for Lent if that was.
I haven't had beans in a while, you know.
Really?
I know. I've only had it once since I rejected the last beans. But
let's not get into that conversation again.
Look, we'll sign off for Easter. I hope everyone listening has a really good Easter. We'll see you in 4 weeks' time for our next show, because you've got 3 weeks between this and the next one, 3-4 weeks. So we'll see you in 4 weeks' time. Mm-hmm. Don't miss us too much.
Remember to keep looking at the news while we're off, while we're gone. Check your BBC News, Guardian. Read widely. Don't take what you see on social media at face value.
Yep.
Read your news.
Don't believe conspiracy theories unless it's Kate Middleton related.
Unless it's coming from us.
Unless we're telling you the
I'm
conspiracy
joking.
theory. Keep informed, and hopefully we'll be able to update you with some good news in a few weeks' time. Hopefully the sun will be out, as it is today in Portsmouth. So we'll play you out to Pink Pantheress and Ice Spice, Boys a Liar. I hope everyone enjoys their Easter here on PureFM.
Have a good Easter.
Is there any room for me? I won't have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair